Le bateau est rentré de Cape Town et ces 4 mois ont été optimisés pour surtout refiabiliser le bateau et réparer les dégâts dus à l'impact avec l'OFNI pendant le Vendée Globe. Et pas de modification majeure. J'avais vraiment hâte de retourner sur l'eau, sur mon élément, à bord de mon bateau. Je pense que j'ai beaucoup plus à gagner et à progresser en naviguant qu'en modifiant le bateau. Donc maintenant, j'ai vraiment hâte de reprendre des sensations dessus et prendre beaucoup de plaisir. La prochaine course, c'est la Rolex Fastnet Race cet été, au mois d'août, avec Yann Eliès, le co-skipper de la Transat Jacques Vabre, et j'espère qu'on arrivera à accrocher quelques beaux résultats.
Here are global highlights of the sport of sailing in the last 7 days. IMOCA, Arkea Paprec, after a major overhaul is re-rigged, ready for the 2021 schedule of racing. Giovanni Soldini sets another elapsed time record, as he sailed the original Rolex Fastnet course in under a day. In the USA, the Melges i37 is proving very popular. In Porto, the Finn Gold Cup attracted some big names in sailing. We have a number of the regatta's videos in this week's World on Water, starting with day 1. The first winner of the Whitbread Round the World race was from Mexico. There will be another team from there in the next race, the Ocean Race Europe. Here is the story behind Team Viva Mexico. Day 3 of the Finn Gold Cup saw big, lumpy seas but no racing. 2021 will see the Opti Worlds on Lake Garda. It's a wonderful sight of over 1,100 young sailors battling it out on the beautiful lake. We are following Hugo, the Sailing Frenchman, who is in the 2021 6.5 Class Mini Transat. Here is his latest report with a huge announcement. In France, the Beneteau Figaro 3 class had their prologue race to the double-handed Transat. This race nobody wants to win. Day 5 and racing in the Finn Gold Cup concludes in Porto. And the winner is Andy Maloney, New Zealand. Do these Kiwis want all the sailing silverware? World Sailing introduces leading coaches and judges, without whom we couldn't run our sport. Now over to the Solent, and Giovanni Soldini in Maserati.
Come ci aspettavamo, c'è pochissimo vento in partenza. La parte critica di questo record. Siamo passati il Fastnet questa mattina verso le 8:30 GMT.
Okay, we're at the Melges i37 East Coast Championships with Peter McLennan, Gamecock USA 31. One of the most exciting teams. Upbeat, always positive, getting ready for the season this year. Peter, what are you most excited about?
I'm just most excited about the racing. It's such a great fleet and such a fun boat. So much excitement around the class, great sailors, and just excited to get out there and measure ourselves against the other boats. So we've had to learn a lot, figure out the modes, and what's great is you go out there and you're lining up against some of the best sailors in the world, you figure out your modes quite quickly.
Yeah, you do, don't you? The sailing has a number of boats out there. It's a strong fleet, big fleet.
Yep.
So you do learn your modes quickly just because of that. The competition is, not, I wouldn't say steep, but It keeps you honest.
I think it's really approachable from a competition perspective because it's predominantly an amateur class. But you look around and there's people who have been sailing for a lifetime at a very high level. So I get excited just going against them and lining up. I'm excited about the new rule that allows protocol tactics, which I think will increase the level of skill and competitiveness across all the boats.
Yeah, it'll be good learning for not only the helm, but the rest of the crew too.
Yeah.
The coordination that person brings to a team, I think, is really good. Now, I know you're busy through the summer, and you've got a lot of IC37 events planned, and there's a healthy schedule of regattas. Talk a little bit about what you're most looking forward to with the IC37.
So we'll do all the regattas. This boat is my primary priority over work as well, which is great.
Yeah.
So we're going to do all the one design regattas, and we'll also do like we did last weekend where we competed in the ORC regatta. We'll do another 10 perfects in and around Newport, New England, because it's great to get the boats out there, showcase it. It doesn't have the easiest rating, but if you sail it well, you can be competitive.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Peter. Good luck this weekend and the summer too.
Thank you.
You know, today's the fourth day of the Finn Gold Cup, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty awesome day with onshore breezes and sort of 10 knots. So yeah, can't wait to get out there. Hopefully we get 3 races in and catch up a bit. I guess Andy and I have just jumped back into the Finn after the America's Cup, so we're just looking to check in where we are with the fleet and how everyone's developed, and you know, where we can improve, looking forward to the Olympic Games.
It's nice to be back in action. Pretty tricky day, I would say. A lot of swell, and the wind was turning quite a bit at the start, at least. But in the end, I think the breeze was pretty good for the last 2 races, and really nice racing. But still tricky, but yeah, nice racing.
It was a very emotional moment. We were lucky to live on an afternoon in Easter, which we had a lot of support from of course from the Acapulco Yacht Club, but also from many of the members. And Acapulco Yacht Club has been my hometown since I was 3, 4, 5 years old when I started sailing. It's emotional for everyone. The support was great. I could not be able to ask for a better place or a better yacht club to represent while we do this project.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4
We all know Sayula also represented the Acapulco Yacht Club 50 years ago, which in a way was one of the reasons why all this started, to celebrate the 50-year anniversary when Sayula won the first edition of the Whitbread race, now the Ocean Race. The Sayula victory did not get, I think, as much credit as they should have for winning such a big event. And one of the things that I've worked through this project is to let people know more about the Sayula project, what they did. Of course, I was not even born when they won the race, but the Ocean Race has always been a goal of mine to do it, and now to being able to lead this project, and on the 50-year anniversary of the Sayula, 50 years of the race, it's even a bigger challenge. I can tell you that I'm learning every day, because one thing, I'm doing this with not much experience in such a big project. I've done a lot of sailing myself before, but this is a totally new challenge, and right now it's just learning, putting myself in the right places with the right people, and just going step by step, and enjoying the process as much as I can. We finished the first of our 4 legs on our way to Europe. It's the first check that we do on our way to the Ocean Race Europe. It's gonna be the last time the boat is in the Pacific Ocean for a while. I think the next time could actually be until the Ocean Race in 2023. So it's emotional. It took 50 years for a Mexican team to get back into the race, but I sure hope that it takes a lot less, hopefully just 2 or 3 years, just to the next edition after this one. I think everybody feels proud of Viva Mexico, and I'm sure they will be helping us and cheering us all the way around the world, and this summer around Europe.
The 2021 Optimist World Championship is an important regatta because it's the future of our sport. It gives the young, up-and-coming sailors a test of competition racing in one of the world's best venues. Over 1,100 boats on Lake Garda at one time. It is a wonderful sight and a great competition. There's just over a month to go before the start of the most awaited youth sailing event in the international sailing scenario, the Optimist World Championship. After the postponement of the regatta in 2020, Riva del Garda is getting ready to welcome the best young sailors of the world. With registrations still open,
50 nations have already confirmed their presence for the World Championship that will start on Wednesday the 30th of June in the waters of Lake Garda in Italy. After the qualifications, team races and finals, the participants will be engaged in an intense series of regattas that will end on July 10th, when the winner of the 2021 Optimist World Championship will be proclaimed. They will be crowned the successor in the role of honour to Marco Gradoni, record holder in the Optimist class, for having sealed 3 consecutive World Championships. The 2021 Optimist World Championship is organised by Fraglia Villa Riva, Riva del Garda Fieri Congressi, Garda Trentino and AICO, the Italian Optimist Class Association.
Alright guys, I have some pretty big news for you. I don't know how to tell you, so it's better I show you. No, I'm kidding. If you're looking for a channel where people are having children and breeding them on expensive cruising boats, you're on the wrong page. So back to normal business now. Alright, so you've seen the wrapping of the boat, the covering is great, and this means that I have found a title partner. I know it since, I think now a month and a half or 2 months. We've just made the partnership public, just to have kind of everything ready. So now I can tell you that my title partner is
a shame. Think something new under the sun. You can't take back them things you already done. No. You blame things that you do on somebody else. No. But they all see is you need help. But still you try so hard to cover up your games. You try so hard, hoping that one day something
9 dans Bête Port Laf. On la connaît bien en plus.
Ouais, t'es content de refaire un petit parcours intense en Bête Port Laf, très bien.
Ouais, c'est bien marré, c'était un bon dimanche après-midi.
Et voilà, deuxième, c'est la bonne position. Hein. Souvent, on peut dire que ça porte malheur peut-être de gagner ces courses-là à coefficient 0. Et non, on a pris du plaisir, on a retrouvé un peu nos marques sur le bateau parce que ça fait longtemps qu'on n'a pas navigué et c'était super.
Ça porte malheur de gagner le prologue, donc ça nous va bien la 3e place. Ah, c'est que pour ça, sinon on aurait été devant, bien entendu.
The Finn Gold Cup remains New Zealand's cup, as Andy Maloney sweeps to victory in Porto. It took more than 60 years for a New Zealand sailor to win the Finn Gold Cup, and now 2 have come along in a row. Andy Maloney has led the 2021 Finn Gold Cup since day one, and on Wednesday, though he briefly lost the lead, did just enough to take the cup from his teammate Josh Jr., who was the first ever Kiwi to win the cup in 2019. Joan Cardona, from Spain, took the silver and won the European Continental Qualifier for Spain in Tokyo, while Junior took the bronze. Leo Davis also qualified South Africa for Tokyo, in the African Continental Qualifier. Race wins went to Denys Karpek, from Estonia, Jake Lilly, from Australia, and Nicholas Heine, from the Netherlands. The racing was again held over huge waves and constant wind shifts. A rainstorm in the opening race mixed the fleet, and kept everyone guessing. Karpak held a huge lead at the top mark after skirting round the cloud on the right, and was never headed. In the second race, the skies had cleared, and determined to make amends, Lilly found the front and took a well-deserved win. The final race was more tricky with several lead changes, but Heine took the lead on the final leg to win. The bigger interest was behind him, with most sailors picking up some high scores all day, to leave a very tight scoreboard. Maloney was in the front at the top mark, and a tricky final beat dropped him to 6th, but he was still ahead of the other contenders, to take the Finn Gold Cup. Junior had also dropped a few places, and had to settle for the bronze.
I started sailing at the age of 9 and loved it since day one. In 2013, I became a coach at the Nautical Club of Tsitsifies Kalitheas, where I started working on the sailing schools for the Optimist and Open Big Class, and later on I started organizing and managing summer camps. In 2018, I started working for the Nautical Club of Paleo Faliro on the 420 sailing team, where I am till now.
Starting from a young age as a sailor, I've transitioned to a sailing coach, and now I'm a national judge. I have been involved in all the major events here in Greece, and also in several international events. 2014 was the time when I stopped sailing in a competitive level at the 470s and decided to shift my focus to the judging aspect of sailing. The transition to the role of the judge came naturally. I always wanted the competition to be fair, and when I stopped sailing, it was a way to stay involved in the sport.
Coaching is something that fits my mentality, so for me it was the best way to continue being and contributing to the sport. If I could pick a highlight from the last 8 years, it would be the first time that an athlete of mine held a cup up on the podium.
My highlight in the role was being a member of the international jury in the Finn European Championship that was held 2 years ago here in Athens, and was also an Olympic qualification event. The biggest challenge is mastering the knowledge that is required for the position. That's why constant studying is required. The advice I would give to someone who is interested in becoming a judge is to certainly do it, because it's worth doing it. Although you are not actively put on the spotlight, it's a crucial element for fair competition.
Loving the sport combined with the satisfaction of passing on your knowledge and the ability to shape characters through that is what keeps me going. Makes a huge difference when you try different ways to achieve the perfect result. So take notes and feedback from anyone more experienced and filter them to better suit your mentality and way of coaching. So love what you do, be passionate about it, and success is guaranteed.